Hello again. For this installment of Geek Out with Perry, we're going to cover a sought-after topic. After discussing the large mailbox story and data protection for the last few videos, the next topic, which most people want to understand, is archiving. Many of our customers archive for different reasons, including trying to keep their mailbox size limits pretty small, although we talked about that in our first video with large mailboxes. So how does the Exchange archiving story fit in the large mailbox vision?
Okay, yeah, and so I think it's really important to stress that there's an awful lot of features that go under the rubric of an archive. People have been using it as a mailbox extender just to allow people to have a cost-effective way of having more email. But also there's a whole bunch of compliance, legal retention, regulatory reasons that people have been deploying archives for. It's really a set of features that they're buying when they buy an archive. An awful lot of those features we think should just be a core part of the workflow that you buy when you deploy Exchange. So, you know, at the core, from a user perspective in the large mailbox story, there's a set of experiences that are around retaining mail longer. One is you don't want to have your primary folders cluttered up with emails that are old. They make your day-to-day activities less efficient. You'd rather have a separate place to go refer to them when necessary, but not necessarily have that in the place. So that user experience that shows up in Exchange and Outlook and OA in Exchange 2010 and Office 2010 is really that personal archive experience. And we think, you know, things like the auto archive functionality that you get with PSTs, having special folders they can move to, being able to create move policies, that sort of thing, are all about that personal archive set of features. All right. There's also the what you call the records officer's perspective on the archive, which is I really have some legal requirements or policy requirements within my company about retention and discovery and that sort of set. And that's a separate set of features that are about, say, enforcing a legal hold on people's mailboxes so that data that doesn't get, that needs to be kept, gets kept, or data that really needs to be deleted after a certain period of time according to government policies, that automatically happens and people make the right decisions by getting the right kinds of hints. And then finally being able to go through and find content when you search the database and respond to discovery requests and that sort of stuff. This is sort of a set of features that you could sort of call the regulatory archive. Right? Okay. And the set of features, in a sense, kind of overlap. But they're all based on a common infrastructure. And the key thing is by co-locating this old, cold data and the that's about the stuff that's been held or put into the personal archive. With the hot, frequently accessed data in the same place, you can dramatically cut your costs. But we talked about that a lot before. But it is really a whole suite of things that pull together a complete archive story. And we think this is all available to you in Exchange 2010.
Okay. So we discussed personal archive and providing personal archive to our customers and retention policies, and also a way to discover and search across that data and preserve it for an extended period of time. So are we done, or are there additional investments that we'd like to make?
Okay, well, asking a software engineer whether you're done is kind of asking like Beaver whether or not there's any more dams to be built in the world. So no, we don't think we're done. We do think we've got a very complete story for Exchange. Okay. But if you look across the entire enterprise, there's a lot of data that's not in Exchange. We do think right now 90% of discovery and retention issues are around email. Okay. But increasingly, there are stores like SharePoint and file shares and even some line of business applications in which it's important to start worrying about some of these retention and discovery issues. In the long run, we do think it's very important for Microsoft to provide a single place to do discovery and set your policies across all your data stores, not just Exchange. So we do think that the right approach is a federated approach. And by that, we mean a central console that allows you to do discovery and set your policies that spans all of your data stores and data types. Okay. By doing that, you get to take advantage of the rich set of features that are specific to those data stores that spans both the regulatory scenarios and the personal experience. Especially, there's a huge amount of UI on the Exchange side and with Outlook and OA that we take advantage of from the same infrastructure that's used for the regulatory archive. So when we're investing hard on indexes for users, that same investment benefits the regulatory discovery scenario. On top of that, there's the obvious big win of not having to copy all of your data constantly to a central archive just so that you can do discovery. It's very much simpler to do a query and get back a result set when you do a discovery rather than copy every single record, gigabytes of data per user into a central repository just so you can do a discovery operation. So dramatically lower costs and then richer experiences across the board.
For each of your data types.
Yeah, so that is why we think the federated model is the right long-term vision.
Okay, thanks. So thanks for geeking out with Perry. Archiving is a hot topic, so feel free to leave us comments and questions. Keep your eyes peeled for more blog posts and videos from us in the next few weeks. Thanks again.